Riley Gaines among many witnesses taking Democrats to task during a Senate hearing on Title IX and protecting women's sports.
The NCAA forced me and my female swimmers to share a locker room with Thomas, a 6'4", 22-year-old male equipped with and exposing male genitalia. Let me be clear about this. We were not forewarned we would be sharing a locker room. No one asked for our consent, and we did not give our consent.
Which one is it? Are parents in charge of what's in the best interest of their children or not?
There's not evidence of medical transition producing good outcomes versus the mental health counseling. And that's what we want to prioritize, is so that parents can choose among the psychotherapy, counseling, and other options to truly help children dealing with gender dysphoria.
You also just heard from senior counsel Matt Sharp, and he joins me now. Matt, good morning to you. You testified 2 days before the 51st anniversary of Title IX, which protects women in women's sports. And now some people are concerned that those protections are going away. So tell us more about your message yesterday before the Senate Judiciary Committee.
We were, along with Riley, sharing stories about the impact that some of these gender identity policies, the ones that would be enshrined if the Equality Act was passed, would have on women and girls, on children, on parental rights, and a variety of other Americans. And that's what we're sharing, the importance of Congress rejecting this and finding better solutions that protect privacy, safety, and fairness in sports.
You know, according to the CDC's own data, Matt, the number of young people who identify as transgender is going up with each passing year. It's still a small number, but it is a sharp rise, and it's happening all at once. Why do you think that is?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of questions about this spike in the number of children dealing with gender dysphoria. And when Europe was looking at the same data and realizing that children going through these puberty blockers and hormones were having terrible mental health outcomes, they were having continuing high rates of suicide, they recognized that there were better solutions than putting them on these drugs and sterilizing surgeries. And so they started prioritizing the psychotherapy, the counseling that we know is helpful. And the U.S. ought to be, like Europe, following the science and doing what's best for children.
Well, the president of the Human Rights Campaign also testified yesterday that it's not unfair for women to compete against biological men. It's a moment that's been getting a lot of attention. Here's what she said, and then we're also going to play Riley Gaines' response.
How many female members of the NBA do you see?
Well, I can say that, there's been this news article about men that think that they could beat Serena Williams in tennis. Right? That they think that they could actually score a point on her.
Both Serena and Venus lost to the 203rd ranked male tennis player, which they're phenoms for women. My experience, my husband, he swam at University of Kentucky as well. In terms of accolades and in terms of national ranking, I was a much better swimmer than him. He could kick my butt any day of the week.
I mean, it's hard to debate against that when you have the receipts, you just have the facts. I'm sure that a lot of your critics, and this has got to be difficult for people like you and Riley Gaines to deal with, they would call you transphobic or not inclusive enough. What do you say to those people?
We look at people like Riley. We look at people like our clients that we're representing in Connecticut, Chelsea Mitchell and Selena Soul, that were elite runners in high school and were blown out of the water, like Riley described, by two male athletes. They are simply women that are wanting the opportunity to compete and win and not be deprived of these opportunities because of policies like the Equality Act that allow men to compete, that allow men to capture these championships, these medals, potentially even college scholarships, and take those away from women.
Yeah, and this issue is also affecting younger grade levels as well. Just last week, the New York State Department of Education recommended that teachers not tell parents if their children are transgender. And they even said that if there's a student who's a little boy, he wants to go by a girl's name, call him that girl's name in class. But when you talk to their parents, refer to him as a little boy so as not to tip them off. Can you imagine how infuriating that must be for parents who find out that teachers had this information and were actively hiding it from them?
Yeah, it absolutely undermines the right of parents. These are loving, caring parents that want what's best for their child and that want to be involved. If a child bumps their knee on the playground and the school wants to give them an aspirin, you call the parents, you notify them. And so the fact that you would hide from parents that a child has mental health issues, that the child is dealing with gender dysphoria, is simply wrong. And that's why we're representing parents across the country that are pushing back against these policies that lie to parents and that hide this information that caring parents want to know about their child.
Yeah, Matt, thank you so much for joining us this morning. We appreciate it.
Thank you.